It's Mackie.
And Ainsley.
And it's our first ever Friday Paint Live. We're super excited. We're in our brand new space. We hustled super fast and hard to get in here so we could be comfy and lots of room to do our painting. So we are doing Raku finish on terracotta pots. I will be showing, I'll basically be doing a terracotta pot that you get from any paint store like this, and Ainsley's going to learn right next to me. So I'm going to show her all of the techniques and so on and so forth. So we can just get right into it, and first we can talk about the paint set. So our Raku set, yep, Ainsley's putting it onto screen for us. So that comes with our original Raku finish, and then we kind of upgraded it with some really cool colors like Scarab Wing and the Iridescence, both of those. So I'm really excited because so far I've only shown kind of this more subtle effect, but I'm really gonna go for that example that's on the cover image for today's, and really try and make it super bright and bold and fiery and crispy. And then this is our accessories, paint accessories set. So we've got silicone mats, we've got 2 brush kits, which these are all the perfect sizes for today. Silicone is really good for detailing as well. So 2 different brush sets, and then we've got a cute paint tray, and then also resin as well for mostly other projects. You could use it in today's, but not as much. So, yeah.
And it doesn't come with that bag.
That's why I threw it over my shoulder. But you can use any, I'm sure you guys have a tote bag. So, is that everything? Should we get going? I'm just really excited to.
Do you want to do a little interview style, like asking about the paints?
Maybe let's change.
So what is No Fire Raku?
Oh, we have to sit down for this.
Yes. So, how about we do that as we get going?
That would be great.
Okay. So we are going to. Here I had it zoomed over our pots, and I'm gonna try and get a view of both Ainsley and I. Get to see her little legs. So I'm gonna do this type of thing.
Both in frame?
Us.
Yeah.
If you back it out a little bit, like
How's
just.
that?
Yeah, tilt it up just ever so slightly.
That's better. Yeah.
Yeah, that's better.
Maybe you can come look too. Okay, so I'm here. You can see yours too, as long as you're like on the edge here.
On the edge.
Perfect.
Just tilt this way more.
No, just back it up like the whole stand.
Oh, there we go.
That's really good.
Okay, good.
Great.
That's perfect, actually.
Alrighty, let's get this view of our brushes. So this is the brush set that we're using. This comes with a lot of really cool different sizes. Whenever we're working on big projects, that's why I set one out for Ainsley there, that bigger size. We're gonna use the 12, and they kind of go down, but when you wanna cover a big surface, we wanna use this nice big brush, which is great because we don't usually use this big of a brush on our paint jewelry projects. So that's gonna be fun. Then all of our little detailing, like for these edges and little lines and stuff, that's when we're gonna use the smaller ones. So I'm super excited to get going. Does that, oh, that's kind of dark when it's like that. I'll just put it out of frame. All right, so Ainsley, here is your pot.
Thank you.
Yay. Okay. Can you grab the paints? I don't want to.
Yeah, I got them. Can show them all up close too. I have 4 more coming your way.
Okay, so we've got some ladies on that already are pro painters and use our paints and have them. So if you have your paints, go ahead and get ready to start painting with us. We've got onyx, matte glaze, white gold, fire opal, scarab wing, lapis, rust, hematite, iridescent violet, and antique copper. And yeah, Ains, you can start shaking.
Did
I like-
you guys talk about the paint properties yet?
Not yet, I
Not
just
yet.
went through what we have.
Awesome.
Color-wise.
Matt, the outfit is like so perfect for today.
Get used to it, because I'm gonna wear it every single Friday. A white shirt and overalls, so. All right, so our paints, you have to shake the paints up a ton, because they are basically an enamel paint, and they really separate a lot while they sit. So you always have to shake them, but it's worth the work because we have not found a better paint out there at all. So you shake them up. Since Mom wanted me to talk about the properties, it's basically like a resin type, enamel type of paint. They're water soluble, so if you mix them with water, they will dilute. That's why we always will be using a dry paintbrush, because if you have water on this, it will get milky, which is really nice for like a watercolor effect, which we'll do sometimes on Fridays. But for now, we want to get really thick and bold with this paint effect. Anything else you want to say about the paint properties?
Dry time is important. It's fast dry paint, so as you're working, you're gonna be able to do layers, and then once it's dry, it becomes permanent. So that's why we call this the no fire glaze, because this is as permanent as a fire glaze.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what's super special about these paints. And what we're doing on Fridays is we're featuring a different project every Friday about all the different ways to use that.
I think that is maybe the
So
one thing we
Mackie
forgot.
is finding.
Tip clearer.
Mackie is looking for a tip clearer, and the reason she's doing that is because
It dries fast, so it seals
dries
up.
fast and it seals up, so it's doing doing its job.
Yeah, so it gets stuck in the nozzle. So we got our little tip clearers ready. Although that's the one thing we didn't do. But what I've done here on the mat, I'm laying out hematite, onyx, and antique copper, putting out a little pile for Ainsley, a little pile for me. So we're gonna start with those neutrals, and basically just get.
Thank you.
Our goal is to make this terracotta pot have a much darker finish to it
And what are you
before we
using
start.
maybe you can explain what you used to clear the tip.
That was a piece of wire.
You could use a safety pin, you could use, for jewelry makers, designers, you can use a head pin or an eye pin, just anything that you have. Mostly like a safety pin is great.
Yeah. And any comments coming through? Oh,
Everybody's basically been
maybe
saying
let's get
hi.
one that's not just wire because it got stuck in the bottle top.
Oh no!
I gotta make it a lot longer, and then I'll get it out for you.
I think you
So-
got the short one.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's just start painting on our pot while she figures out.
Running at me that, and I'll get the, here you go, here's a lot longer wire.
And guys, I've never done this before,
Yes,
so
so this
I am
is
just learning, so
brand
you get
new.
to experience that with me.
So grab your brush. Ainsley's gonna get some onyx. That's our black, and just kind of coat the bottom of your brush. Decent amount since we're doing big surface. So black and hematite. And basically,
Here you go.
you might have to come a little closer to me. Thank you. Yeah. And then looks like your hand's in frame if you're right there.
We might want to like move it up a little bit. If we push it back, then it will be. There we go.
Okay.
Awesome.
Cool. So basically we're just going to start swiping that combo onto our pot. And you can make it nice and streaky. Go ahead and grab more hematite and onyx, just kind of both with your brush, and just keep streaking. And it's really good when you get these kind of darker areas and lighter as well. See how that, yeah, that's perfect. And this does not need by any means to be perfect. We just want Almost looks like a dark pot that you just added colors to. So,
Sorry about that, guys. Siri decided she wanted to turn on.
oh, I didn't even hear it. We're
She
good.
wasn't talking very loudly, but I don't know if the audio cut out. I think it did. Yeah, because Peggy's just said no sound.
Oh, like Siri was on for a while.
Yeah, because it was messing with it. So it should be back now, but it like cut out the sound because it's.
Yeah, let us know, guys, if you can hear. All right, let's get a lot more onyx. And even though these bottles are tiny, you'll be shocked at how far they go. Like, they will definitely last you, well, with this size of pot, probably last you like 6 projects, I want to say.
Or at least.
At least. And see how I'm grabbing here with a paintbrush? Sometimes I'll put the hematite right next to the onyx and just dip one side in, I'll bring this up closer. So one side in the hematite and then onyx is on the other, and then you can kind of make that streak. So see, like that. That's really good too. So leaving some light areas, some streaky. And the less stripy it looks, the better. Sometimes too, if I like want to just get a base coat, I'll just do our little kind of flicking side to side movement. We use that when we're mattifying things, our little magical made up word.
I love that term.
We're so funny. We like think we're so
We just don't have the proper word to describe
yeah,
it, so
we
we
just
have
make
to.
up our own.
We have to do it that way.
You could probably cheat a little more this way. Yeah. That's good. So, just getting that big base. Nothing perfect, like even here, see how that's like one kind of almost perfect stripe? I'm actually gonna make it not perfect. There aren't many geometric lines in, actually there are no geometric lines in Raku pottery, so we wanna get rid of any of those.
Donna Dewberry. I don't know who that is.
What's that?
Robin was saying, does anyone remember Donna Dewberry? This reminds her of the one-step painting technique.
Oh, wow. Is that the furniture paint?
I don't know.
Because that's what it's called.
And Nancy
Remember?
said, yes, she painted a lot with her techniques. Well, that's cool. I'm really happy that you have a reminiscent style.
Getting rid of any of those streakies again, like that. Yeah, that's looking good, Ains. You want to show yours on camera for a sec? Ainsley is looking really good. That's perfect. She's got some lighter areas with that terracotta peeking through, which is great because obviously Raku has those super orangey moments. Let me show you this picture we have here.
Join the club, Robin.
See that there? There's a lot of like orange tones in Raku, so you can totally leave some sections. Okay, we do want to get the inside and bottom coated at least a little. So that buffing technique for the inside if you want. And the great part about our paint is you can probably see that I'm already grabbing just where I've painted, which our paint dries so fast that you're able to do that. Like, isn't that amazing? You don't have to wear gloves or, I mean, I'm getting a little paint on my hands, but nothing crazy. So now just roughly getting the inside.
Are you just using the onyx right now?
Onyx and hematite.
I was gonna say, you can really see the hematite.
Yeah.
It's really got a gorgeous sheen already.
You can sit right here too, Mom, if you
Yeah,
want.
you won't even be
Yeah,
on.
just-
You won't even
you
be
won't
on
be able to-
camera.
Yeah, you won't be on camera and we'll be able to hear you.
You can hear
So
me.
she can sit right next to us and hang out. She's gonna come closer so you can hear her a little bit.
If I can get this.
You're still kind of off, so if you want to come up here more, there you go. I'm so happy that it's finally our Paint Friday, and we even pushed it so we could come out here where we're gonna be doing our,
Yeah, we
Lives.
really went ham. We didn't even think we'd get out here this soon.
yeah.
Well, I'm super excited to do all the hardware and all the fun things that we're gonna be doing.
Oh my gosh, I have so many projects mulling around in my brain. Like, it's gonna be, Fridays aren't gonna come fast enough.
I know. Karen, yes, there is. If you click on the product, that is, do you guys have it on the top of your screen right now?
Not right now because it would cut us off, but I can
Oh, you
re-put
can
it up.
do it. Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead and put it up there. And if you go to that,
That's what she wants, the paint set or the...
the paint set.
Okay.
If you go to the live shop right now, you'll find this Raku set there, and in the description is the full list.
Okay.
We've added a few colors to this particular technique because Mackie decided that she wanted some, to combine some scarab wing later on.
Yeah, and I also really, really needed our metals for our jewelry are already really dark and have those deep tones, but terracotta is literally just orange. So we really needed to add in that onyx and hematite in order to get those dark qualities to create that Raku look. So while Ainsley finishes hers,
Oh, she wants the entire list. Yeah, then read Peggy's comment. So,
Thank you,
Vintage
Peg.
DIY. And whenever we feature a set on the live like this, it's always discounted. And in the live shop, so you're gonna get free shipping, and you're gonna get a discount on the full set. So that's always really exciting.
okay. So Ainsley, don't worry. I'm gonna just go into our color kind of theory right now.
Okay.
So some of you have done Raku already, but I have here rust, fire opal, and lapis, and these colors, they're so hilarious because I would never put them together just like out like I'm gonna do, but it's funny because Raku, you have to kind of make it look crazy before you make it look good. So we're going to kind of just do some really cool, let me bring this back into view, this little example. So I'll do some lapis areas and rust areas all around the pot, and it'll be kind of randomly placed because that's how Raku goes. Kind
And
of has a
Karen
mind of
said
its
she
own.
already has 50 bottles.
Awesome.
She has 50 bottles. She's just trying to make sure she has them all.
Yeah, absolutely.
So do the fill in.
So getting the, again, lapis, rust, and fire opal out onto your silicone mat. There's our lapis. And even though we're using a lot of paint, again, it's gonna last you so much longer than you would think out of this tiny bottle, which I think is amazing, especially if you are, you know, going on a trip or traveling with your art supplies. It's just like there's no better way to travel and make art, and even just add to your collection because it takes up such little space. All right, I'm going to grab our brushes over here. Sorry for reaching.
You're fine.
Go ahead and put your paintbrush in the water so it doesn't crust up. Thanks.
Oh, okay, yeah, 1 sec.
Sometimes when I don't wanna do a lot of water and I'm mixing already, I will just wipe it off on my, paper towel.
Yeah, but
Really
there was
well.
a ton of paint on our brush this
Yes,
time.
for sure. And it's just a fun little tip that you can dry it off with your paper towel if you're dry brushing.
Okay, so do you see what I'm doing here? I am getting all of this rust, and I'm kind of going where I already left some of that terracotta view peeking through, and I'm kind of just doing this big chunky stippling effect with the rust, and I'm using the Colorful Soul 10. And Ainsley, here's an 8, that's close enough. Or wait, this might be a 10. There's a better 8. I actually prefer to use the kind of junkier brushes that are in worse shape. Like, let me reach over you again. And like, see this, how it's kind of gotten rough and wide. These work really well for our paint techniques on the pottery. So if you're kind of like a freak about keeping your brushes perfect, it might not actually work as well for you for this particular technique. So we're getting this big ugly splotch of orange. Gonna move over here because we kind of want this going in a couple different areas. And that's looking good. Ains, you can definitely let that show yours on camera. So Ainsley's is getting a little bit more lighter coverage, but that's fine. She can let that dry and just keep layering until she gets it a little more thick like that. So let me get some more rust for myself.
So Mackie, it was interesting when Sawyer did this technique, he did a lot of brush strokes. What you're doing is more like, would you say like modeling, dabbing, kind of like almost like
Just enameling,
like
painting, I think.
yeah, like you what would you say? You were doing a dab brush stroke? Like what would you call it?
I'm doing all sorts of brush strokes.
So
So
you're
I
just
did
mixing
do the
up.
same thing Sawyer did it to begin, but
Mhm.
now I'm doing
So
I'm doing
you're
the
putting down a base.
big dabbing now. So
Perfect.
kind of like cow spots actually. It's kind of a good way to put it with this. And again, I'm trying to go for a more bold, like true Raku finish, like this picture, which to be honest, I actually have not even done yet. So you guys get to see this in the making. When I did this, I stayed all real like brush strokey and a little more subtle, but I really want to go bold this time and really try and get that true Raku.
Oh,
I
Karen
will
called
do
it stippling. She's
yeah,
right, that's
stippling.
stippling.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I got a little
Oh yeah, leave those.
drippy
right?
there. So I will do some of this too, which is really pretty, is when that kind of you glow it all together and do a really pretty like aurora moment. We'll definitely do some of those throughout as well, but I'm going to focus on getting those big chunky cool effects. So while this is still wet, since I put it on really nice and thick, mine's still really nice and wet, so I'm gonna get my rust out, and even with the rust, or sorry, not rust, I'm getting antique copper. The rust is still on my brush, which is fine because we want that to kind of mix. I'm going to start to edge this. So, and since yours is a little bit lighter coverage, like over here, maybe start, yeah, actually keep doing
I've
what
just
you're doing.
been
That's
layering
perfect.
it.
And
up.
then you're close though. Once you get that, you can start on this rust step with me. So see here how I'm taking the rust and I'm just edging the orange. Sorry, antique copper edging the rust. So just going around the full thing right there.
Oh, Debbie was saying she thinks it's pretty right now.
Oh, that's good. Thank you.
I call this the morning. This is like your just out of bed portion of the pottery. Before you take your shower and blow dry your hair and stuff. This is like as raw as it gets, right?
True. Call this the crazy cow step or something like that.
Yeah, the crazy hair, no makeup.
So see how I'm getting the antique copper just around these orange. See how I'm like tapping it on there and kind of
Blending it.
blending it just slightly. All right. Don't be afraid to use your paint. Our paint is really cheap and not cheap looking, so definitely use it up because you're gonna love what it looks like at the end.
Well, and the best part of this is lots of times when you're painting with like your duller acrylics, like the Deco Art stuff that you see everywhere, you cannot sit that outside for 5 years and have it look the same.
Yeah.
And we know, we've tested our paints outside, and sitting outside for 2 years, and there wasn't any fading. Even Raku pottery would break down, you know, within a couple of years if you sat it outside.
Yeah, this paint is like almost as stubborn as us.
I don't know if that's possible, but I agree.
Okay, so let's start trying for some of this fiery pink. So I'm gonna mix in the fiery pink with some of the orange. And just gonna tap in some of those orange spots so you get kind of like a strain of pink in there. So we'll do that in the orange. And then I'm also gonna expand out to the black and hematite areas. Like that, it's pretty good.
Mackie, when you did your little terracotta pot right there,
Mm-hmm.
what was one of the inspirations like behind it? Like if you had to describe that in 1 minute, start to finish, what was the thing that you wanted to achieve with it? And then how did it feel along the way?
I just wanted to, and I'm just taking my extra paint in here and just kind of brushing it. The inside I'm not gonna try and make look super true. Basically with this, I just tried to get it real, basically like I was applying ceramic paint. What's that called?
Glaze.
Glaze, that's right. Like I was firing and glazing at the same time. So like kind of like how I would picture having superpowers if the paint was like super hot and fusing into the
With your fingers.
terracotta with my paintbrush, yeah.
That's a cool way to think about it. It's like your hands were heat resistant.
Yeah.
Your hands and your brush, so you could hold a hot pot. Did you feel like you were defying the odds when you did it? Like almost cheating? Like,
Kind of, yeah.
my gosh, these are hot coals and I can hold it and
Yeah.
change it. See, one thing about this that's really cool that I love is that you can control where you have your fire flares.
Yes, that's so fun.
And you
Especially
can't-
if you have a small little thing and you're like, oh no fire flares showed up on my piece.
Yeah.
This way you can put them wherever you want. Okay, so what I'm doing here now is I am getting pulling some of the antique copper just out, so it's kind of doing this like little blown out faded thing into the deep dark color. So almost kind of like blowing out that edge. Yeah, see how it's kind of getting like this glow? a lot of times when you'll see that on the pottery, it will be, you'll just see those moments where it all fades and blends together. So getting that just glow and almost just getting rid of some of those harsh lines, but you definitely want to keep some of them.
So Mackie, do you think this is squirrel proof?
What is the
And he
squirrel gonna
said-
do to it?
And he said, well, with painted ceramic, like someone did a painted ceramic piece with acrylic paint, fired it and set it outside as decoration, and a squirrel ate it. Was chewing on it.
How much of it is it? It shouldn't chip off, actually. It should be super fused to there,
Right.
but you'll have to let me know how that goes when you test it. So you can start into your, where you blow it out, where you pull some of that. And if you need a little bit more antique copper, you can totally do that, Ainsley.
Okay.
All right, now I'm gonna get this white gold out. Gonna get this kind of chunking in some of those areas that look a little splotchy, like here. I'm totally fine with that when it's mid-step, since we'll be putting, it's kind of the perfect area, like the dark areas, to put that white gold into. And this already is like, the white gold is kind of just like a magical paint, because that's already making it look so true and seamless. I do like some of the dark behind it as well. Looks really good. Cover up some of those dark areas like that. I would say think, when you're doing your painting techniques and shapes, think clouds, and think, I think you need more antique copper on your brush probably. Think clouds and think cow splotches. Clouds and cows. So not too streaky, not too straight and geometric. You want to go really bubbly, organic, cloudy.
I think you can tap off the card for now, Ames,
Tap off the, okay.
and then you can tap it on in a little bit every so often.
See how that's already starting to blend right there? And don't worry about the dark to orange. We're gonna be really working those areas in a little bit. We're just really trying to focus on kind of the orangey,
Foundation.
yeah, the orangey, like just portion. It'll all come together at the end, I promise. Actually, I can't promise because I haven't done this specific technique yet, but I'm assuming it will. Because you can pretty much do no wrong with our paints, and even if you hate what you did, you can 100% just keep on layering. Like you could say you hated your finished project, just get your onyx and hematite out and just cover the whole thing and start over on the same pot. And if anything, the layers will just be a really good base for you to keep on flowing and painting. I'm pulling some of that white gold here, just in a little area. I do want to keep some super dark areas.
Debbie, go ahead and swipe your comments, swipe them off the screen, and then you'll have a bright screen. I think the reason is you might be seeing your the comments coming through
Yeah, because
if
we're
you're on
really,
your phone.
really bright here. Okay, I'm really liking this so far. How's it going over there for you, Ames? You're still doing your
Good.
blowout?
I'm doing the blowout still.
Cool. So Ainsley, after she does her blowout, let me show them your thing though. So Ainsley's never done this. I've technically never done this, but her pot's already, that's gorgeous right there. I love that shape you made. Hers is looking perfect, and she's gonna blow out that area, and then you saw what I did with the white gold, right?
Kind of.
Yeah, just kind of making little clouded effects over anything that's like dark like that.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. But you're getting it great. So,
I'm having serious FOMO, guys.
it's good?
I just want to be sitting there and painting with you. It's my favorite.
You can paint right there.
Sure, you could do
I'm
it.
answering everybody's questions.
Isn't my mom doing that too?
No, I'm making a paint cheat sheet.
Oh, she's doing a paint
properties.
properties cheat sheet so that you can put them up on the screen for people.
All right, so I'm trying to think of my next move here.
Why, before you do that, why are you doing this technique?
Because I really want to copy Raku, like the bold, crazy, cool Raku like that.
But you don't want to do the full steps of.
You
don't
want
have a
instant
kiln.
gratification.
What else?
Yeah,
do
I
you
It's
don't
want?
also
have-
cheaper.
I don't have an $800 kiln, and I'm not going to buy one either because I don't have $800.
And 10 years of experience.
Exactly. I know I can fudge painting, so that's what we're gonna do all the time. Every Friday is do fudge some paintings. Okay, so I'm going to work on this little blue area, this like tealy blue. And this is why I brought in Scarab Wing into this Raku, because I do get the vibe of some of that turquoisey blue type of color. So I'm going to keep that next to the lapis because I will want some moments of the lapis plus the scarab wing. Is this like hard to watch because the technique is kind of slow,
No.
or is it fine?
No, this is fascinating.
Okay, good.
Do you like Bob Ross? Do you like? I mean, sometimes when
Personally, yes.
sometimes when I look at Bob Ross's paintings, I'm like, how is that ever gonna look good? Because as he's doing it, I'm like, whoa, that looks so cheesy. And then at the very end, I'm like, oh my gosh. You know, and I think that's part of how cool it you see the full process.
Like that kind of thing?
Yeah, perfect.
Okay.
That's really gonna be beautiful. I can't wait to see all the other colors.
All right,
Added.
so I added scarab wing, and this is the magic combo right here. Scarab wing plus white gold. It creates just this unreal color together. So make sure your white gold, you got enough of that out right next to your scarab wing and with your lapis and some iridescent violet. But the stars for this one are the scarab wing with a white gold. And so we're gonna be working on some kind of cross sections up and through. I am gonna try and kind of flow with the shapes that we've made already, but I'll try and stray from them just a little bit. But let me show you how pretty this color is when you take white gold with a little bit of scarab wing.
Ainsley, yours
you can
almost
see
looks
that.
a little volcanic. They both look a little volcanic. the
Well,
way you
that's
did
what it
that.
should look like for Raku, so that's good.
Yeah.
But look at this
really.
really gorgeous color that's happening on the mat, and I'll show you as well once I get on here. But these little striations, like that color is so pretty. So you can kind of tap it and drag it so you do expose some of the back, some behind what you're doing.
I cannot believe what the scarab wing does to everything.
Yeah, it's pretty nuts. And again, scarab wing is like crazy. You're like not gonna need a ton of it. So there's a good striation we have going there. And
Just
I'm gonna
looking
move
at
over to this side.
the authentic pot on the package. On that packaging, look at the cool authentic, the pot there, that's the Raku, and you can see they're just like little flare-ups of them,
Yeah,
little flashes. Instead of little happy accidents and little happy flashes.
there we go. So kind of flow your shapes in together sometimes. You can pull them across randomly and blow them out.
I'll tell you what, Sawyer made one of these pots for me for Mother's Day, or my birthday, I can't remember either one, and it was just like, probably my birthday, because I think he made it back in November. And honestly, I cannot even tell that it's not Raku, and I have Raku all over my house, and I love it so much. In the end, you're like, oh my gosh, that just is Raku.
Yeah, super fun. Let's see what some of this iridescent violet does with it too.
Yes, Peggy, I agree. Scarab wing is the most bestest color ever.
Ever. So magic. I'm gonna start pulling some of this iridescent violet and kind of swiping it over. See, watch this. This part's crazy, guys. So when you swipe the iridescent violet over the pink, so the fire opal in particular, see that? Like super bright flashing that you get when it mixes with the orange and the fire opal, it just kind of like lights on fire.
It's out of control.
Like it just glows. Okay, I've got a lot of scarab wing on my brush though, so I'm going to get rid of that so I can have a clear shot at this pink.
Mackie, one tip that I have when I'm painting with a lot of paint is I will take a full paper towel roll and I will cut it in half
Yeah,
and I will just dab my wet brush right on the paper towel and it'll just soak it up.
oh, cool. Yeah, that's cool. So see how that, actually I'm gonna start in a new spot where I have pink. So see that little bit of pink? Watch how it just glows and lights on fire. It's like the flecks of the violet just mix with that pink and it just gets crazy.
Yeah.
Even over the orange, it's just as good, but probably best over the bright pink areas. Like right here, you can see I put some pink. Let's do this. I've been neglecting the inside of my pot, but I do plan on putting just some dirt and a plant in there, so I don't worry as much.
I just wipe off some
That's
extra
perfect.
paint and
That's smart. Using your extra paint.
Yeah, that's good.
Just to
Mackie,
add
yours
some
actually
color
looks
variation.
good on the inside.
Oh, good. Also gonna tap it over the scarab wing in a little bit of the area, see what what happens to that.
When you have these orange edges, would you ever consider doing full strength hematite blowout?
Not yet, because that's for later.
Oh,
Right now we're just working on color,
yeah.
and the hematite and hematite and metallics, we're gonna save those to the end, and that's gonna really just bring our whole piece together. So you're just gonna have to be patient, Mom.
Like I said, I'm having FOMO. I'm just like living this vicariously through watching you. Stephanie said she's loving this technique, Matt.
Oh, good. It's always hard to look at this moment, but I swear it's gonna look crazy at the end. Okay, so what I'm gonna do right now is I am gonna stray a little bit, and I'm gonna start using the lapis and onyx and hematite and start to kind of almost erase some of our striation that we've made. That looks really good, Ainsley. Those colors are really cool. So let's get the hematite out with our lapis. I probably put too much lapis. I didn't need all of that. And onyx. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do that little tap blend thing with my brush and tap on the lapis. Let's get a little bit of hematite on there, and then a little bit of the onyx. And as we kind of do this, it will blend from the brush onto the pot.
And so Mackie, Candy was saying, beautiful, that pot is a work of art and too pretty to put outside. And I told her just make more.
True.
Some inside, some out.
Cheap projects.
Every so often, would you mind going like this up to the camera for the, up to that one? Every so often?
Like walk up there?
No,
I
no,
could
just
try.
hold it up.
Okay, let me
Every
just
so
quick
often.
do that. I need to
Or
quick
actually,
explain
Ainsley,
this.
why don't you do that while she's, because yours is looking so cool.
I just need to explain what I'm doing.
Yes, do that.
Okay, so I have, oh, that looks good, Ains. So see how that blue is starting, and we're gonna go off of all of these scarab wing portions here. So see how I'm just gonna leave the scarab wing that we've already put, and this lapis, hematite, and onyx is starting to blend, and you can just kind of cover any area that's a little bit too chunky and then blow it out and blend it into the already black background. So this is already where our pot is going to kind of take shape and really start looking like Raku. So we're getting there, I promise.
Mackie, I love that you said blow it out. Can you explain for anybody that just came in new what blowout is?
So blowing out, I'm using as a term for basically you kind of tap the paint until your brush almost turns dry. So you're doing a dry, semi-dry brush technique. I hope I don't sound like too crazy and like particular with all these techniques, but
No.
it makes sense once you have the brush in your hand.
Completely does.
So-
I love the term blowing it out. It makes me realize that you need to spread out the paint.
Yeah, so spreading it out really nice. And I see here I want to add a little more hematite to blow out as well.
And
So hematite's a really good dark glower, like you want to glow those edges.
And Ainsley's pot is getting a lot of oxygen flares. You know what I mean? Like all
Yeah.
the way she's going for a heavy oxygen flare.
So let's see here. I didn't blow out this area as much, and I do want to kind of knock down some of the orange that I created. I don't need all of that brightness. Let's see if my technique with the lapis, onyx, and hematite will work to knock some of that down. So just tap a little bit of each of those colors randomly on your brush like that. You'll see them kind of all lined up, not super blended on the brush. And we're gonna tap it and just start to kind of make some of that go away that we've done. Just kind of trying to get a crisp edge.
Cindy was saying this is giving her ideas for a cool picture frame.
Oh my gosh, yes. We will definitely be doing picture frames on our Fridays. So let's flick and do our little blowout. You'll feel your paintbrush start to get dry. So that's good. I will definitely have to come back in there, and I do plan on doing this at the end, is our last final little flares. It'll be kind of like a straight up and down flick on anywhere that has a rough straight edge. Here looks like a really good opportunity. I've got big chunks of scarab wing, so I really want to always get that lapis, onyx, and hematite mixing in with that black, because it's gonna just really marry everything together. We're basically trying to make like an aurora glow on everything here. So here that looks a little muddied, so I'm gonna do the same with the onyx again and hematite. Hematite will blend everything so perfectly.
And Peggy, you can do it either through the code or from our website to order paints.
Even gonna use my finger a little bit.
Yes, Peggy, great question. So Ainsley can pop that on again. So you can go to we have down below in our little banner there, vintageliveshop.com. Go there to buy this paint set. It's the most recent one. It's called No Fire Raku. And then also, you can order right from this cart. Type in cart 100 and it will give you a prompt from Messenger to continue the checkout. We also have the accessories kit. Ainsley, if you want to pop that up.
Yeah, just 1 second for this dries on me.
Okay, so we got.
Cookie has a good question. Does the paint need to be black, or the base need to be black?
Not completely, but definitely make sure you have some black in there. You need.
Do you think it
Raku
would make
really
short
needs
work of
that.
it? It just makes it shorter time if you pre-paint it a little black.
Yeah.
Because your base was terracotta.
Yeah, because you don't want to be working against that orange the whole time. You want to be layering on top of like the true Raku base, not like just plain terracotta finish. So I do suggest just at least a light layer of, the hematite and onyx. Okay, so I wish I had, do you remember that little piece of Raku that I have that's on the fireplace? Wish I
Do you
had
wanna
that
go look for it?
actual, if it's there, yeah, it would be really good. Okay. So now Mom is going out and looking for my actual little Raku piece. Hopefully we can find it. I'm gonna take this opportunity to go in with just white gold. And if you can, you found it? Thank goodness. If you can see here, perfect, thank y'all. So here is actual Raku that I got from the thrift store. And this one, you can tell that I used that as the inspo for this one, because it really looks super similar to that. So with this, I'm really trying to go for those really bright flashes like that all over the pot. So if we look here,
Cookie was saying she was wondering about a dark green. And I would say we always suggest that people find their own expression. If she wants to use a dark green, it won't
of
necessarily
course, yeah.
be.
I mean, scarab wing is dark green.
Yeah.
So, but you can try mixing a dark green with one of like white gold probably. All right, we're gonna try getting this little flash. See that right there? That looks almost exactly like taking white gold and antique copper and stippling over some of that black. And it's almost like marrying those chunks. See this big chunk of orange? And that's basically like a big chunk of goldy orange right there and a big area of black. So if you do this little flecking action, it's really going to marry those areas together. So let's get those colors out. White gold and
With Raku,
Antique
white
copper.
gold is my magic. That is my
Yes.
favorite color
and I'm actually
in the Raku.
yes, it is. White gold is the magic as well. So I'm really going to start to use that, and we're gonna start to blend all of this craziness that we've done. So let's mix those colors up a little bit. You can just mix them slightly like that. And I'm gonna swipe over some of these chunks that we've done, just getting another layer of glowing and blending happening. See how we still have some of this chunkiness here? We want to kind of just flow it together. See how that's already starting to blend together really seamlessly?
Seemingly seamlessly. Say that 20 times or 10 times. Seemingly. I can't even say it the
I
first
know,
time.
it's hard. So even on areas that are pretty, like you'll still see your colors in the background, it's just going to, and this is a thick application right now, what I'm doing. See how that's just adding like that pottery quality finish and flow together.
Diane is wondering what kinds of paints you are using.
Okay, so we're using our Vintage Ultimate paint. It's basically like
Can you
an
put that-
enamel
put this up on there?
resinous paint. This is our favorite paint ever. Obviously, we produce it, and we've so far used it on jewelry a ton, but we use it on wood and tons of different home decor projects and all sorts of stuff. I do need to tell you, Ains, quickly, when you're going in with this step with the white gold and antique copper, go really heavy on some areas.
Okay.
So it's good lighter on some, but then, like for example, right here, Ains, see how I have like that big dark chunk and it looks a little splotchy? I'll
Okay.
go real heavy, like right there, and blob it and almost let it like flow and
Okay.
fall down. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Perfect. Yes.
Can
so
you say a few properties? Water cleanup. but
can you do it?
permanent,
While
yeah. Yep, in fact, we are working on a quick properties list that we can pop up on the screen for next week. But just so you know about our paints, while Mackie's doing some of this final blowout on the Raku pots and Ainsley too, is the exciting properties are that they're water cleanup, they're fast dry, they're permanent once dry, indoor, outdoor use, low odor, almost none, non-toxic, let's see what else, resinous body, so that's like such, for superior adhering qualities, very reasonable. What are they, like normally $5 and $6 a bottle, but when you buy them in the sets, you get a further discount and free shipping. And we're always going to be doing a paint technique on Fridays, noon central, and then on Wednesday we do a.
you can see us again. Our iPad was too full because we've been doing tons of lives and have lots of pictures from all of our projects. So we had to just get rid of a bunch of junk on the iPad in order to keep on recording. So hopefully you can hear us and you didn't miss anything. The only thing I did was this little tiny flashing fleck right here. So we should be pretty good. I'm just gonna start into it. So again, going with the antique copper and white gold and doing this little, almost like a crusty, like
It does